Hello and welcome to the 2010 Villagers Podcast, episode 9. Joining me as always, Jack Salt and Ash Walker. How are we doing, lads?
Evening, Sam. How are we doing?
I'm a bit more relaxed after last night's second half now.
Just about calmed down, have we?
Yeah,
God.
so.
How's the Amazon subscription going as well?
I have absolutely nothing against Amazon.
Oh, well, we'll get into that. Sure. we'll get into that.
Nothing against them, mate.
We'll come to that later.
Call them all or nothing.
Can't wait.
I'd watch it.
Quick Dentons Team Talk, all road, first episode. Anyway, right, we'll kick off as always with the news. One of the big news stories in the league this week, got a new team, we've got East Goal. East Goal have come into the league, lads. They snuck up on the radar, didn't they? What do we think about this?
Well, what was the first thing we said when we set this podcast up back in whenever we did August, wasn't it?
As long as we last longer than East
As long as we last longer than East Hull. So technically, does that mean we have? Or
Because they're now East Goal.
yeah, well, technically, they are still called East Hull, but they're now playing Goal.
Is Goal Stadium in the east of Goal?
Well, to be fair, Jamie Waltham was very loose with his.
He wasn't great on geography, was he, Jamie? He wasn't one of his strong points.
So, if it lasts till Christmas, which I don't think any of us really think they may do.
With crowds at 55 at Goal.
Yeah.
And probably having to split stuff like incoming payments and stuff.
Can we just say we don't want them to go bust? Because I don't, personally.
Not now Waltham isn't there.
No, it wouldn't be fair on Kev, would it?
No. We love Kev on this show.
He's just such a nice guy. And it won't be fair on him. I mean, he's always welcome at the Dransfield if the.
To be honest, I think it's Dean Park in general, because I saw LIV were meant to be playing
LIV
tonight.
gone,
LIV moved to Bishop Burton, haven't they?
Yeah, Bishop, yeah.
So yeah, there's a few funny goings on down at Dean Park again, which seems to happen every year or so.
Yeah, I think it's best we stay away from those myths and rumours.
But it's a long way.
It is.
Out the way, innit? To go all the way to Goal every week.
What made me laugh is that they were playing Rossington. They might as well have just gone to Rossington.
Yeah.
It's halfway, isn't it? Really.
And for a club that hasn't got really a fan base, has it? It hasn't got that core fan base. Its core fan base is about 15 people. Which
To
is
be
a bit.
honest,
No,
I'm surprised they got 55.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that was Goal.
How many was that? Was Goal fans going?
Yeah.
You know, that's something to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't know where Goal were on Saturday. They must have been away.
Bearman suddenly offered him the ground as well at Hayworth.
Yeah, and they turned that down.
Turned that down. Do you reckon Les gave him a ring?
No.
Somehow I doubt it. I wonder if Smurthwaite was on the phone.
Probably Smith was probably laughing down the phone.
Yes.
I'm sure Smurthwaite wouldn't do that.
Anyway, we'll see how that one develops and how long East will last, or East Goal, as they will now laughably be known. Right, go on then, Mr. Stelling.
Okay. Well, there were a few games last night.
Were there?
There were. We'll start off with Glasshoughton 0, Brig 3. Hall Road Rangers and Selby was postponed. Hallam 1, Emley 2. We won't mention that. We'll just stay quiet about that one.
No, I'd like to say something about that.
Stay quiet on that one.
That is a very, very good result for Emley with 10 men.
Are you now, on this show, in the 9th episode, going to admit that you were wrong about Emley?
Not yet. Harrogate Railway 2, Rossington 7. North Ferriby FC 2, Nostell 1. We'll talk about that at nauseam later on. Retford 0, Campion 1. Only one goal for Campion last night. Wearsborough 1, Dronfield 2. And tonight we've got a classic Parkgate there, his arm for.
Wow.
Some stats. Kieran Watson of Hallam, 10 goals this season, top goal scorer. There's an average of 4.8 goals a match at the minute in the Counties League.
Wow.
Campion have got a lot to say about that, I think, and Rossington as well, banging in goals at the minute. Brig as well. No, so. Campion have got 23 goals, which is the best attack in the league. The worst, anyone want to have a guess?
East Hull.
No.
Glasshoughton.
Do you know how many goals they've scored?
6.
5.
Yeah, 6. A third of those goals against us. But funny I should say that. The best defence is us. We've got the best defence. We've conceded 5 goals in 6 games. The West, anyone want to have a guess who's conceded the most goals this season?
Harrogate.
No.
After the 2 thumpings they've just taken.
I don't know if his stats have been updated recently.
Retford.
No. It says Selby. 20.
Conceded?
Yeah, conceded 20.
I mean, Harrogate have conceded 15 in the last 2 games, haven't they? 8 and 7.
No, Brig beat Retford 8 now.
They conceded 7 against, so it's only one off.
So 14 in the last 2 games.
Yeah, so, well, to be fair, this is all off the County's website, so Matt Jones, if he's watching, needs to go on
Nice
his
to see you,
laptop.
Matt, last night, by the way. If you are watching.
Yeah, that's me. And Nunsport. I forgot about Nunsport. In the car, I had to use Jack's phone to Google. They were meant to play last night, postponed. They were playing Lincoln United Development. At the weekend they played Bottisford Development. Good point away from home at Bottisford.
It's a very good point.
1-1.
Fair play.
Good result.
Doing alright are the boys down at Dunsthorpe?
Yeah. I think they're up there.
I
didn't look at the table.
Just to pick out a couple of things from there. Campion, obviously, they only won 1-0 last night, but the 100% record continues.
And they were at Retford, which I think is one of the hardest places
God, it's
to
an
go.
absolute... I mean, that has to be the worst away trip in this league, difficulty-wise. It's awful.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst ground in the league.
So, as we will discuss later, that sets up a very interesting game on Saturday afternoon when we go to Campion. And the other one is Hull Road and Selby was postponed, but a bit of a link between the 2 clubs that we've heard today, another little bit of news, is that ex-Ferriby Mr Joe Dale has signed for Hull Road from Selby. Now, for me, if they can get him in the team regularly, that's a brilliant signing for Hull Road.
You know what? If he plays more than 20 games for him, don't finish in the top 6.
Who I thought you were going to say top 4 then. I know you disagree with
You
that.
think they'll finish 8-17th, don't you?
No.
So, to be fair to Sunderland and Sewell, you know, I admire the job they're doing this season.
They're developing a very good team.
Sewell has done a great job.
They need to improve defensively.
If Sewell gets them in the top 8, give him manager this season. What a man.
They improve defensively. They do better than they are doing now.
They did play. They played Hallam, who were just pushing and pushing and pushing, and they couldn't handle that. They don't concede many goals, I don't think, do they?
No, I don't know. But Joe Dale going there is, again, it's a very good signing, but it's a big if. He works a lot, does Joe. That's why he couldn't sign on for us, because of work commitments. And if he can start playing every week for him, fair enough, yeah, that it'll be a really valuable signing to him. But even if they're just getting one game a month, it'll help them. So
that's another one jump ship at Selby.
Yeah.
On the quickly sinking ship. Right, next up, quite a big piece of news today. Obviously, South Yorkshire is going into Tier 3 from Friday, which means that Dronfield, Hallam, Parkgate, Weresborough, Rossington, Armthorpe and Swallownest, we believe, will all be in Tier 3.
You know, I'm gutted.
Obviously, it's going to be very difficult now, away fans going to these places, which isn't going to help any of these clubs. I mean, imagine if Ferriby, for example, alright, maybe not Hallam, but to everybody else on that list, the away support we would have took through the gate there would be invaluable to them.
Yeah.
And now, I know they're saying, oh, the advice is, you know, advice no away fans, but it's advice. Well, I'm telling you now, I'll be going. But, you know, a lot of people...
I think there'd be an alien invasion, would be a nuclear war, you know, I think you'd still go some.
Oh, I would.
I don't think anything would stop you.
But there will be a lot of people that won't, and that's not me being big-headed. I'm sad. I'm obsessed with Ferriby. I don't have anything else to do on a weekend, so you know. But yeah, it's worrying times because obviously, how long is it going to be before other parts of Yorkshire and therefore other teams in the league drop into this category? Maybe not the likes of us, East Hull and Hall Road, but your West Yorkshires.
Your West Yorkshire and
so
your North Yorkshire.
Your Harrogates, your Emleys, your Nostells, you know.
What about Selby? Do they count as West Yorkshire? Are they North?
I think they're West, I think.
I think they'd be in trouble.
So, very soon we could have more than half the league in Tier 3. I mean, that's 7 teams now out of 20. So, it's concerning. And we know there's a meeting tomorrow night with the FA and the leagues of Step 5 and Step 6. It'll be very interesting to see what comes out of that. We'll be waiting keenly to hear updates on that one. Obviously, it's just so difficult at the moment with all this. I mean, God knows how the North West counties are going to come.
Like I said at the start of the season, you know, you have a game on a Saturday, you pray you can get the game on the Tuesday. Get your game on a Tuesday, you're just waiting for Friday night so you know you can be there on the Saturday.
I mean, that's what we're doing.
And I think it's even more like that now. You know, I just think we may even have games behind closed doors soon. Not all games, maybe some games, specific games might end up being like that, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for other teams or the government. We all know my thoughts on the government. I won't start, don't worry.
Oliver Dowden's still on record from last week.
No, well, I think he'd rather have COVID than listen to me do this, but
I think anybody would.
But listen, it's just one of those things. It's a week by week, day by day.
You know, you could wake up any morning and you could hear some piece of news and that could be it. So it's worrying. Right, let's move on then. So we've had 2 games since our last podcast, and we called for 6 points. That's what we needed. That's what we've got. But again, we need to discuss certain things. So Nostell last night, we won 2-1. First half we were fantastic again, and we could have been 8-0 up.
Is this episode 6 or episode 5, episode 4, episode 3?
Yeah, we seem to have been saying it quite a lot. We blew them away first half. Danny East scored after a couple of minutes. We had 2 penalties. Obviously, Danny East had the first one saved, but if anyone's seen my picture that I got from the video that I was taking of it, I mean, how far the goalie needed a bus to get that far off his line before Danny East took the penalty.
I'm not going to referee bash. Because
oh, don't worry, I am.
You know what I'm like. Evening, Adam. I know you're watching. What the assistant referee said to all of us in the boardroom after the game didn't resonate very well with me. He said, if you can't score from 12 yards, you shouldn't be taking a penalty.
That's not the point. That is not the point.
I think that was probably the lads were trying to have a little bit of banter.
It wasn't said that way. No matter how far off his line he is, whether that is saved like it is, that needs to be retaken and the goalkeeper needs to be cautious.
I think the referee noticed, because the second penalty he made sure he was on his line. Because he started to move when you saw the ref go back.
You could tell, I mean, we saw the screenshot from the second penalty, exactly when Scotty had his leg up, he was bang on the line. But I don't believe this is a referee, this is the linesman.
That's the linesman's job to check the goalkeeper on the line. But, you know, it didn't go in. We got the second penalty and Eastie gave the responsibility to Scotty Phillips for that. Phillips banged it away, bottom corner. Nostell probably should have been down to 10 men if we're honest. I think the first one was a red card.
I think the first one is more a red card than the second one.
But then you've got an argument as to why it wasn't. We have got an argument as to why it wasn't.
You can sort of say he was going away from goal, but I think he would have scored.
I think it's a red, that one. As a referee, that one's a red. The second one is soft. It's probably a penalty.
It's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
I don't think the second one's a red card.
No, it's not a red card.
The one from the goalkeeper, I don't think that's a red card. He's got players on the line.
Yeah. That, you know, people were saying, oh, they should have had 2 red cards. I disagree there. I do think the first one, I think he should have gone with.
One would have been justified for me.
However, I believe the goalkeeper got booked, and the goalkeeper also threw the ball away in disgust. Now, that is dissent. That is a bookable offence, or a sin-binnable offence. Binnable? Is that a word?
Yes.
It is now.
Like Ian Dowie, you're going to create a new word for this.
It is now. So, realistically, for that second penalty, they should have had an outplayer in goal for 10 minutes. That's not being biased.
I agree with you.
That's sticking to the letter of the law.
That was something I didn't notice, and you raised a very good point there. And if that's what he did, then a stronger referee would have given a yellow card there.
100%. But the referee is obviously thought to himself, right, I booked him for the tackle, I'll let that one slide. And letting slide doesn't work for me.
No. But you know, we continue to create chances. The balls over the top seem to be working quite well the first half.
They did first, second half seemed to be too tired to chase them.
Emerton was playing well first half. Danny East was, Scotty, you know, it was going well. And then second half, we looked like we were running through quicksand most of the time.
Yeah.
We were really, really leggy that second half, and in fairness to Nostell, they didn't just roll over and...
We let them back into that game.
No, yeah, I think we did, but, you know, they kept at it, eventually got a goal, but similar to Glasshoughton, they never looked like equalising once they'd got the goal. It was just a case of it was annoying for Ferriby because it's a, you know how teams pride themselves on clean sheets. That's a needless clean sheet we gave away there.
And it's another second half.
And it's another second half that wasn't up to the standard of the first half, which seems to have happened quite a bit. So I think I was discussing with you today, Jack. We've had a lot of football. The problem is we've got a lot more football in the next few weeks.
Doesn't stop, does it?
And the games now, with no offence to Parkgate and Nostell, our next 3 games are big.
Even the 2 after that.
Yeah. So I think there's, again, we keep saying there's stuff to improve on. I don't want to be too negative. I don't want to dig the team out. We got the win. We asked for 2 wins. We got 2 wins. We'll come on to Parkgate, but it was just a bit deflating after that first half to see
it was. I think the game finished and we all just went, thank God that's over.
It was a hard watch second half.
It was boring. It was a boring second half. It wasn't good enough. We expect better than that, and it just wasn't what I would expect from a Ferriby side that second half. Maybe that's me being a bit out of order saying that, but
I don't think he's out of order.
We made it a hard game and it shouldn't have been a hard game.
I agree, and I think all the players and Chris and Robert and Les and everybody would agree with you.
We just made it a hard game where it didn't need to be. That could have been the day we got off the 3-goal curfew. It should have been.
Yeah. I mean,
in fairness, second half, I thought Nostell played well.
We let them play well.
I'm not so sure.
We let them play well.
I think they played very well. But
they won't finish in the top half.
Oh God, that's a big statement. Football is a game of fine margins.
Where they're going to finish then? They weren't even that good. Come on. If they're in the top half, God help this league if we can't.
Oh, here we go. He's on the counties bashing again.
Sorry.
But,
right. So
what I will say,
am I now banned from Nostell's ground?
No. Just let me bring it back. So basically, what I was trying to say was football is such a game of fine margins. 30 seconds prior to Nostell scoring Josh Street's 1-on-1.
I was just going to say that.
And Nostell go up the other end and score. It's fine margins within football.
If we'd have scored that would have been the end.
Game's done.
We probably would have won 5-0.
Yeah,
but that was a chance to really create.
It was, I agree. But Josh will be disappointed with that. It was, we were stood behind the goal. We heard what he thought about his effort there that he put wide. So it was definitely,
As well, we've had a good goal chalked off in the first half from Niall Tilsley. I didn't see much of a foul in there.
There probably was I think there was a push.
I think it's battling for the ball in the air.
You're always going to concede free kicks there. There's always hot spots where you concede free kicks, and that's one of them. Jumping up in the penalty box trying to head the ball, you're always going to concede a free kick doing that.
But overall, from tomorrow night, when we look back at this in May, and we look back on our results throughout the season, we'll say, do you know, that was a pretty valuable win, that.
I don't think I'll say that, but
I think we will.
I'm not going to celebrate it too
much. My final point on it is that another thing that helps Nostell back into the game, and I am going to ref bash now because I thought he was poor last night and he gave Nostell everything.
We did give us 2 penalties.
Yeah, in the first half, and there were 2 perfectly justifiable penalties.
He was a counties level referee. I don't know what else we expect from him. Mark Clattenburg or Michael Oliver's not going to come swanning out and referee the game. Howard Webb's not going to come out and referee the game.
We do with Carl Boyson. He might as well be.
I think we need to realise the referees at this level, as nice as some of them are not the best. And they're going to get things wrong.
Have you noticed how I haven't said anything yet?
I've noticed.
No, it's letting me do it tonight.
I think you're quite reserved. I think every week we're going to say something about a referee.
Exactly. I've learned to live with it.
Yeah, we just have to go with it rather than just going, the referee.
That's the thing. There are 3 things that you've got to beat in this league. You've got to beat the team, got to beat the pitch, you've got to beat the officials.
But we've got to beat our 3-goal curfew.
We will.
The day we score 4 goals, I can't wait.
Don't worry.
The whiskey's out, boys.
We'll be on the pitch.
However, if we win 3-0 every week, I will be quite happy.
If we win 3-0 at Campion, I'll be doing cartwheels.
If we win 1-0 at Campion, I'll be doing cartwheels.
Right, so on the back of that, Saturday, Parkgate, won 3-0. Now this one, I'm not going to dig the team out, because for me, if it wasn't for Parkgate's goalkeeper, who I thought was superb,
unbelievable.
that is 6 or 7.
Easy.
Their goalkeeper was fantastic.
That was the easiest game we will have all season.
Yeah, Parkgate were dreadful. And we played very well. Very comfortable 3-0 win. But like I said, we created so many chances. And a few great saves from their
that would have been 5 or 6 if the keeper hadn't made those saves. So
it's kind of cursed. I think there's a gypsy's curse on that pitch. I think Waltham's been down, hasn't he?
But yeah, Parkgate Saturday, I don't really think there's that much to say about it, to be honest. It was easy, it was a good win. It was one of those where we never looked like conceding once.
As I wasn't there, the word I heard about the game was routine.
Routine.
It was routine. And also, one thing I suppose we should say about it was that Josh Street scored on his debut.
Yes.
Good finish as well.
Finally you putting
some money in the tin tonight, as we'll get to in a minute. So that was good. He looks a good addition. He's not properly fit.
He's not fit.
We've seen little bits of him off the bench so far, but hopefully another good attacking option to add to the side. But yeah, it was a very, very routine win. Not a lot else to say about it.
Do you want to know what the garden said it was like?
You can tell us if you like.
Nobody's interested though.
I'll leave it as a surprise. People can go to Brig Garden Centre and see it for themselves.
Do you want me to tell the viewers that what time you left there and that you could have got to the game?
I could have got there
if you really wanted to.
As I told you, Sam, I was busy after as well.
Right, okay, we'll leave that there before he hits me.
I'll never do that to you, Sam.
Right, forfeits. Not anything coming from your side.
It's fine.
I told you, I wait for till payday, and after payday.
So I owe £11. Unfortunately, this is going to make me sound really bad. I don't carry change, so I've got £10.
So I should record that in the book, and I've got.
That is including some money for Loz. So yeah, Loz, you're lucky, mate.
I'll quickly go through it. So that is the Dronfield game: Loz yellow card, Loz clean sheet, Tom Corner clean sheet. Nothing versus Glasshoughton for you, versus Northwich Victoria, £2 for Danny East goal, versus Parkgate, £3 for TC, Danny East and Loz Mackay clean sheets, and last night £2 for a Danny East goal. And then for me it's £6, which is £4 from Saturday, Josh Street goal, Josh Street clean sheet, Danny East clean sheet, and £2 for a Danny East goal last night. So there's my £6 going in.
He's going to end up on about 50 quid before he pays.
I get paid next week. Well, next Friday, so.
I think you should go around and see Jamie Forrester. Have a word.
Well, he didn't play last night, so it was a bit late, a bit later for me last night, wasn't it?
Oh, when he came off the bench and the referee didn't give us that free kick on the edge of the box. He would definitely have scored that.
I was happy. It was a moment of celebration.
But it's going well. We're up over 70, 80 quid now, so it's costing
You've raised more money than East will have all season for their own club.
He's here all week.
He's here all week. He's here every week.
Sadly.
Right. See how I let him say that? I didn't say that. Anyway.
We're all thinking it around this table.
Next up, Super 6. Now, someone's about to explode with excitement somewhere in West Hull because, well, I'll get to that. But into the top 3 is Mr. Daniel Tomlinson on 30 points. In second place, Matthew Kempson on 31.
Christ.
And he's still leading us, even though he forgot to give us a score for Hallam this week. Mark Chesney is still leading the way at 23.
Please!
He's not even giving 6 scores every week and he's still top.
He's toying with you all, guys. Well done, Mark. Well done.
Also, on the subject of the Chesneys, I have got to get this in because it keeps reminding me. A big shout out to James Chesney for Glasshoughton away on my birthday because I didn't mention him at the time. He was part of a very good birthday. Great trip with him. A lot of exploits with his car breaking down in McDonald's car park.
Yeah, we had to walk from Escape to Glasshoughton.
But we got it going again, and I think the laugh he gave us on the way home was worth it. So there you go, James. 2 weeks late, I admit, but there's your shout out.
A podcast of James telling jokes would just be...
We'd get more views than us talking.
Yeah. Right. We'll go with the quiz first.
Yeah.
If you're ready for that.
Of
course I'm ready. So,
He's going to batter me today.
as I came
You
out of
batter
school,
me every week. I doubt I'm going to win tonight.
if you don't win tonight, there's something drastically wrong. As I came out of school, I messaged Jack and said, "Oh dear Jack, I've not done anything for today." I went
I get
home
this message every week.
and found this book. Look at this book.
It's a brochure,
It's a brochure.
not a book.
Treble winners 2012-13. A brief record of an amazing season. Nice introduction from Les. Brilliant.
This is like that children's story time with Tom Hardy, this, isn't it?
So, nice results.
We'd have never had a brochure like this made.
League tape. No. Anyway, I digress there. So, I've got all my questions out there. Question number 1. We played Chester in our first competitive game this season. Why?
It was our equivalent of the Community Shield.
Yeah.
It was Chester away and we got beat. I can't remember the score. Was it 3-1?
I can tell you the score, so 3-0.
3-0.
I tell you,
Oh,
I will
that's
not get a point.
You will tell me what the guy was called who it's named after, will you?
Oh, Peter Swale.
Peter Swale, that's it. But
Peter
yeah.
Swales.
So was that us for winning the league and...
No.
No, what was it?
We won the Dudson and they won the league.
Ah, right, yeah. So it was like the equivalent of the Community Shield. Yeah.
Who did we play on Boxing Day this season?
Eastwood.
It was away from home. Eastwood was the 29th.
No, I went
Transfer
to that
number
one,
was in
6-1.
that
Boxing Day away
What
from
games
home.
were in that league then?
This is... What league's this?
MPL.
MPL Premier.
The score was a 3-2 win.
Scarborough.
They were still languishing in the counters at this point.
Worksop. Frickley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frickley. Yeah.
Well done,
That
Sam.
makes sense.
Did I go to that? I think I did.
2-0 to Sam.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay, this is my favourite question. Think about how we struggle away from home at the moment. How many away league wins did we have this season?
Oh, come on! This has got to be multiple choice.
Was it like 11 or 12?
I'm not going to make it multiple choice. You're going to have one answer. Whoever's closest wins the point.
How many teams were there in the league?
That league would have been 24, wouldn't it?
There was a few.
22, 24.
Can't tell you. I could work it out. 22.
Go on,
22.
You give your answer first.
So we had 11 away games. No, 21 away games. How many did we win? We were good away from home.
Big Billy though, isn't it?
I'm going to go 15.
Okay.
I'm going to go 16.
16.
Oh!
I can tell
We
you.
won 16 out of
I can
21
tell
away
you,
games.
It equalled the Northern Premier League top division away win record set by Mossley in 1978-79 and Runcorn in 1980-1981. The record is also a new club record. It might have changed since then.
I don't think it has.
I don't think it has. Anyway, missing 11.
So it's 2-1.
So was that worth 3 points, may I ask?
That was worth 1. So you're 2-1. This starting 11 is from the Dudson Cup final victory over Cairns and Ashton
So that was the...
at Farnsley.
Oh, that was the Farsley.
one.
That was the
I
penalties
went
one, yeah.
In goal was Anthony Pecora.
Certainly was.
Louis Bruce was at right back. Mark Gray at centre half. Who else was at centre half next to Mark Gray?
Footy.
Yeah. I'm going to write down who got these so I can count them in the end. Yeah, it was. Steve Ridley at left back. Danny Clark on the right. Russell Fry. And who in the
Bolds.
middle? Not Boulder.
JD.
Do you want to
Too
club
early for JD. Who was there?
Central midfield.
Is it a recognisable name?
Hang on.
Oh,
Hang on. He wasn't a centre midfielder. I read the wrong one.
Oh my god.
Oh no, it was. I missed somebody out.
Oh my days.
Okay, Lewis Kirk was in the middle. Who was on the left wing?
I don't know what happened there.
Brooksby.
Brooksby.
No.
Actually, I say he was on the. He might have been on the right wing.
Was it Alex Davidson?
Clarkey might have been up front. He was on the right wing. I'll tell you, Ryan Williams was on the left. Right? Who was the right winger?
Were they the Davidson days?
No, if you get this, I'll be fucking shocked.
Is it Tim Taylor?
It's on the bench.
Um.
I've made a real balls over this.
Oh, I feel like I might know
You
this.
won't. You won't know it. I'm pretty confident.
Did you not play very often then?
No.
Go on then, tell us, because we're not going to get it.
Jason Stokes.
Oh God.
Now firing the goals in for fun at Rossington. Who was up front?
Bradshaw
Yeah.
scored the first goal.
Right, the subs: Adam Nicklin, Tim Taylor, Sam Belcher, Randuka Ombeni.
Oh God, I remember
What?
him.
Who was the other
Oh,
substitute?
God.
Who was a first team regular?
Fylde.
No.
Is that Adam Nicklin?
He said Nicholas.
I said Nicklin.
Oh, sorry.
Anderson.
No.
Oh, we had.
Steve Gardner.
No.
He was starting, wasn't
No, he wasn't.
he? Oh, wasn't
Big Louis Bruce at right back.
he? Is it a striker?
Centre midfielder.
Come on. Who do we have in the centre midfield?
He went on to captain the club.
Oh, I should know this.
Most successful captain in the club's history.
Liam
probably.
King.
Liam
Okay,
King.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking credit for that one because you gave me
Well,
that.
I'm giving you it. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well, he's won by a lot.
5. 5-1 to Sam this week.
Finally.
I did, yeah.
5-1. Sam,
He can have his moment in the sun.
you bring this book every week.
More my era.
It is. And that's what I thought. And then we're going to memory lane now, aren't we?
Yeah.
No, I've got this little book out.
I was just going to take a seat back because I don't think I would have been there.
And I don't even know why I picked this game. Now turn to the first page.
I hope I can remember it.
Should do. Turn to the first page. Drew won all the books in the first game. We got beat 2-1 by Wexham.
I was going to say I didn't remember that Buxton game.
On the Saturday after, we had another defeat. It was at Fylde.
Oh yes, now I remember.
We got beat 1-0 at Fylde.
Oh
On the
yes.
25th of August 2012.
So we had 1 point from a possible 9, didn't we, at this point?
Yeah, and the alarm bells were starting to ring with a few supporters at this point. Not me, I never worry. The team that day, you're on the team that day. Adam Nicklin in goal, Steve Gardner at right back, not Paul Anderson, Greg Anderson and Paul Foot at the back, Nathan Pete at left back, Danny Clark on the right, Liam King in the middle with Russell Fry, Steve Ridley at left wing, we'll get to him in a minute, Gary Bradshaw and Jack Muldoon up front.
Oh God, where's he these days?
He's not doing very well, is
He's
he?
always doing rubbish out there.
Well,
About as well as Ollie
he
Banks.
can't be doing very well this day, I'll explain why in a minute. The substitutes that day, Anthony Pecora, Mark Gray, Chris Hall,
Oh God, yeah.
Ryan Kendall and Mozza himself, Lee Morris.
Was it?
Steve Ridley came off after 37 minutes, do you remember?
Vaguely.
He was garbage that day. Chris Hall came on for him, Ryan Kendall came on for Liam King, Muldoon can't be having a very good day. Lee Morris replaced him.
Just a side note about Lee Morris. Would you like to know where he's just registered to? I think as a player.
Where?
Rugby Main.
Oh God.
What a man. We love Lee Morris, absolute cult hero. Cult hero, Lee Morris. I'll never forget his pre-season call at Barton. But anyway, we need to get on to our Fylde review. And can I tell you what the brochure says about the game? Ferriby's poor start to the season continued in a game that had little to excite either side's fans. And if I remember rightly, that sums up quite nicely. It was pretty dull, wasn't it?
What score did we lose?
1-0.
1-0.
Winter scored after 33 minutes of going to the brochure.
So this was at Killamere Park, obviously.
Yeah, before they even did much to it, it was very basic.
Yeah, it was. But that was the day because that was the first time me and you ever went to Fylde, I believe.
Yes.
And so that was the first time that we saw the
It
now
was.
ridiculous statement of 2022 no one can stop us for the Football League plastered over the top of their crappy turnstiles. So yeah, well done on that, Fylde.
Well, to be fair, They may have stayed up last season, one for COVID. They didn't get
I doubt
demoted.
it.
No one
And they got rid of Danny Rowe.
They did get rid of Danny Rowe, yeah. But they nearly got promoted. They did lose the playoff final the season before that to Salford. But yeah, nothing's going to stop them apart from themselves.
Yes, but we won't name names. But we do have to tell the story of the bus on the way home. Now, we were on the team bus.
Can we just say how downbeat the whole bus was?
Yes.
We thought we were going to go up this season. We did eventually go up, but we was a bit disappointed with our start. It wasn't very good, was it? And we was a little bit frustrated with how we'd played. And one member of the fan base...
Please tell me it was Mike Dixon.
No,
it wasn't.
We can't say who it was.
We're not going to name names, but it's fair to say that Bobby Carroll was subject to what can only be described as a tirade when he got back on the bus about the tactics and the players and how crap we were and how we'd only got 1 point out of 9 and how we were rubbish. And me and you were sat there, and we were quite young at the time, obviously. We were shrinking into our chairs, weren't we, thinking, oh my god, please let this stop. It was so awkward.
It went on for a while.
It did. I mean, I don't know how Bobby didn't flip his top. I mean, that's why Billy let him deal with it, because Billy would have put him through the coach window.
And I mean, isn't that why we went on the bus?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it was an awful performance. It was an awful performance. But what that says to me is that if you're telling me that we won 16 away games that year, but we didn't win the first 2, so we won 16 out of the last 19 away games in that season in the league, because we didn't beat Worksop or Fylde in the first 2 away games.
That's right.
I remember Worksop away as well. Gary Bradshaw hit a shot in the warm-up and knocked my tray of chips everywhere, and then we got beat.
2-1. Who scored the goal, Sam? Do you remember?
For Ferriby?
Yeah.
No idea.
Danny Clark. After 2 minutes. Can you remember the game on the Bank Holiday Monday, which we called Must Win in a relegation 6-pointer?
Frickley.
Yeah, what's
We battered him. Gary Bradshaw got a hat-trick.
He didn't get a hat-trick.
Well, didn't he?
We had 4 different goal scorers.
Oh.
Greg Anderson, Liam King, Gary Bradshaw and Danny Clark.
Yeah, I do remember the start of that season. That was like peak our period of Ferriby,
Yeah.
wasn't it? But yeah, that Fylde game was dreadful.
I think
we
it was sorry
thought.
for most of
Did
these
Fylde? Where did Fylde end up that year?
Let you know, go back to the back of the brochure.
Because this was the us versus Hensford year, wasn't it?
Finished 5th. They played Hensford in the playoffs and got beat by Hensford on penalties, if I remember rightly. And then
Who went up for
Hensford
the
came up
playoffs?
in the end.
Hensford beat FC United in the final.
Which they deserved to, because
Yeah.
that year it was us against Hensford.
Both on 93 points.
And I'm sure. And what did we get?
93. I said both
Oh,
on
I
93 points.
thought you meant them and FC United. So we went up on goal difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember. This is year we went up when we beat Ashton the last day, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
I've got to do some maths,
Yeah.
but ours was wasn't much in it in goal difference, I don't think.
Because we beat Ashton, like, was it 3-2 or something last day?
2-0.
2-0, yeah, it was something like that. I remember Hensford won as well, they had to better our result.
But let's not get too carried away this season.
No, but
Because the brochure will be back next week.
week.
Yeah, we could be back next week, the brochure.
Because there is a very memorable game. Well, there's a few in that season.
there is.
There is
I was
one
flicking through
that
it.
we
so-
haven't got to yet.
Which one is that?
Oh, come on.
You
The one away game that year that meant everything.
Oh, I get it. You're talking about Nantwich away. I didn't even go to that.
Right, anyway. No, but yeah, we had to tell that funny story about Fylde because
Brochure boys, that's what it's all about.
one of them did. You literally just wanted the ground to swallow you
Yeah,
up at that
it's
point,
crap,
didn't
wasn't
you?
it?
It was
Crap.
awful. Really. And obviously Fylde is an absolute pig of a trip from here. It takes forever. So that journey home was not good.
We've been there a few times, haven't we now?
Well, we have now.
And that was the first time, so like you said, stepping foot in that place. I miss that place.
What colour am I?
Yeah, I had a nice coffee there once.
You can still go if you go and watch Fylde Ladies. They're still playing there.
I'm not going to watch that.
Right.
I'm not joking, I am joking.
Right, okay. Very good that. I've enjoyed the edition of the brochure.
He'll be coming back next week.
Do we have any other brochures?
No, that's in what I can find without quickly ruining the boxes this evening.
You watch, we might have one to make at the end of the season, boys.
I hope
No,
you
let's
got
hope
yours.
so. Let's hope so. Right, moving on then. And if we are going to have a brochure to make at the end of the season, we're going to need to get some points out of these next 2 games that we've got to preview now before next week's edition of the podcast. So, we start with Campion away. Now then, We're still allowed to go at this point because thankfully they're in West
Oh,
Yorkshire, not South. No, you're not going. Not going to say anything about that.
I can't afford it this week.
That's fine. I've said why I said I'm not going to say anything.
Not done much.
Me and Jack will be going.
I have an interesting statement to make about Saturday.
I'm setting it up first.
I've got some interesting statements about Saturday as well.
Ferriby go to Campion, 5 points behind them in the league. Campion, 100% record so far, scoring goals for fun. Go on, Jack.
I know you're not going to like this point. He won't especially.
I like anything.
Would you take a point?
Now, I was going to ask this question.
I would.
I said to you two earlier that we need 4 points from these two games. Now, I back us to beat anybody at home, so I'd say we'll beat Winterton. So if we can get a draw at Campion, I'll take that. Because what you've got to remember is that it's the top 4 that go up. It's not like we don't have to win the league.
Exactly.
It'd be very nice to win the league. And, Campion will have a bad patch at some stage. But they've started very well. And we know that quite famously it's not a great surface there. So, and with all the football we've been playing, it's going to be a tough game.
Of course it is.
Tough game.
They're 6 from 6 or 7 from 7, whatever it is. They're a good side, there's absolutely no doubt in that. But I have faith. I do have faith. But I would also take a point. I think a point from there would be a very, very good result.
I'll take a point.
Would you?
Yeah, but I'll let you know what I think we're going to get from it.
Only if we beat Winterton will I take a point.
I also agree, I would take a point. I think it'll be interesting how the squad's rotated because, like we said, I do think a few players looked very tired last night. It's a big week coming up. Obviously, we're not previewing it tonight because we've got another podcast, but obviously the Saturday after we've got Wivenshaw in the Vars.
And don't forget Rossington on the Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. The games keep
Saturday.
going and coming.
It's great for us.
Who have we got?
Well, it is until we get banned from all these away grounds. It's alright for you then, it's not alright for us.
Well, I'm already banned from half of them anyway.
Maybe comments.
I don't know what the ground's like at Campion.
I've never been.
Yet.
Awful.
Never been.
Oh, is it?
It's not great.
Have you been?
No, apparently it's not great. I've seen pictures. It's tin pot.
Yeah.
Oh well, hello everyone at Campion. You'll look forward to Pints and Pissers next week.
Yeah.
Although my definition of tin pot and your definition of tin pot is very different. Okay, so you might
Yeah, because you're very harsh.
No, I like glass out as ground, you didn't.
Right, and then we back that up very quickly. Winterton, Tuesday night.
That will be a very, very good game.
It'll be an entertaining game, that. Two teams that play good football on our pitch.
And we've got a few players that used to play for Winterton that I want to make a point.
Yes.
It'll be very hard. They did a job on us last season.
They did.
But there was one main reason that they did a job on us last year. Nathan Pete, and he's not there this year.
No, but they're a different side this year. They're built differently.
I've heard that their defence isn't great.
How do you know?
So I believe I might say in the league they were the only team that beat us at home last year.
They were.
So obviously.
And it's a local derby.
Of course it is.
It is.
Under the lights at the transfer.
The Humber Dark. Oh, that was great last night.
Was
We
great,
didn't mention that.
There's
Just
no
saw the game under the
place
floodlights
better
again.
on a Tuesday night than a Dransfield.
No.
As Matt Jones has clearly
You know,
to his senses.
you were seeing that meme with that fella sat at a table that says, "Change my mind." That's me. Do you know nothing bigger to Dransfield on a Tuesday night?
So is it better than Emily?
Anything's better than Emily.
He was Emily. I apologise. I don't know why you directed him
I
at
don't
me.
intend to ever step foot in that ground again.
I don't think you'll be allowed.
I don't know. Mate, there's posters of your face up around that village. I'm telling you now.
Sorry, you'll miss the turn.
I love Emily. I'm joking.
So,
It's cool.
yeah, really, from a neutral's point of view, if you're a neutral coming to either of these games, you're going to be entertained. You know,
I hope so.
it's
You hope
us
so.
going up against fellow big hitters in this league.
Or you could sit at home and pay £15 to watch West Brom Burnley like some people did the other
I mean,
week.
whoever's done that needs section.
Would you like to know, I've read something very interesting, would you like to know how many people paid £15 to watch West Brom Burnley out of 65 million people in the United Kingdom?
I dread to think the number.
73.
73?
73.
Oh, double figures, 73.
Double figures, 73.
You know what? Fair play to the people of the United Kingdom. Who have not rolled
boycotting.
guide.
And fair play to the people from like Newcastle paying money for food to go to food banks and
paying
stuff.
the £15 equivalent
Instead of paying to watch football.
But
It's alright,
Burnley
the Premier League
fans,
got that
a lot of
much
Burnley
money.
fans did that as
We've
well.
also got our food bank, not our food bank, got into it. The European Super League all started in a couple of years, remember? So that's the death of the Premier League. The death knell is ringing.
That's brilliant. That only 73 people pay.
That's something I read about it. Yeah, it was about that figure. It definitely wasn't in the
faith in
hundreds.
humanity.
Definitely wasn't in the hundreds.
Because, like I said on Twitter the other week, everything you can get at Ferriby for £15. I mean, to watch West Brom nil, Burnley nil.
How much did that cost last night? I mean, bear in mind we've got passes, so we don't have to pay to get in. But even if you had, that's £5.
Programme's £2, that's £7. A pint's £3, that's a tenner.
Yeah.
And if you got a full meal, it's about £4, £4.50. So you less than 15
I
quid.
know I've sat here and said the game wasn't great, but it was better than Burnley West Brom.
100%. I thought it was a decent game.
Anyway, we're not going to get back into that argument again. But like I say, it's difficult to sit here and go into great detail about previews. But you know, it's just going to be, it's 2 games to look forward to. But it's going to tell us a lot, I think. And I think we need to not get beat for a start. And I'd love to sit here next week with 6 points. It would be amazing if we were sat here next week with 6 points.
If I say we're 6 points next week, Sam, I mean, I don't even want to know what the atmosphere will be around this table. I think there'll be beer out instead of coffee and water.
I think there may well be.
The whiskey will be out.
You might have to go get them party hats you keep going on about. Right, well, we'll see what you really think though, if we're going to be sat here with 6 points and party hats next week.
Can I go first this week?
Okay, we'll go with you. Yes, so we'll start. No, give us both.
Saturday will be a very, very good game. I think Saturday will be a battle of the defences. Which of the defences can hold out better? I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Okay. Now, you've sat there and said their pitch is bad, which scares me to death. I've seen us play enough games this season in the second half to worry. I'm not confident for Saturday at all. Okay? I've got evidence that backs this up. Unfortunately, I'm going to be the one who says I'm terrified for it. It reminds me of the Skegness game last season. We lose 2-0.
Right. Everyone, fair enough, everyone's
Yeah.
allowed to. We're not going to sit here and belittle you for it.
They score goals, and I think we'll keep them to 2. And I think that's an achievement.
I don't know what to think about this game because I always have confidence in Ferriby and how good we are as a team and our quality, but then I remember our away form and I remember how good Campion are playing, and I can't say we're going to get beat. I'm going to have to go 1-1 as well, I'm afraid.
I don't think we will get beat.
Right, Winterton.
3-2. Right.
There's a speech.
Oh God.
Tuesday night at the Dransfield. Okay? Next to going to Hallam, to Retford, you know, it's an hard place to come. I respect Winterton, I really, really do. They're going to get their asses kicked. Right?
Somebody
if my prediction comes right from Saturday, we're a wounded animal coming into that Winterton game. I apologise to everybody at Winterton what's going to happen to them. The curfew of 3 gets broken. We break 4. 5-0.
Jesus Christ! Oh, you sound like you just made some big speech at PMQs. I'm pleased with yourself.
5-0.
5-0.
Listen, I respect Winterton, they'll be up there.
Yeah.
But if we get beat at Campion, I expect a response. And that response will be on Winterton's shoulders, and we'll batter them. We'll turn it on, we'll turn it on, we'll break the 3-goal curfew, and I'll have a whiskey to celebrate because I'm not at work on Wednesday.
Oh, he's been good tonight.
End drop. Done.
Right. I don't know how I can follow that. I can't possibly follow that. I will just go for a routine. I'm going to go 3-1 Ferriby.
No, you can't say 3.
I
Go break the curfew.
We'll win that game. So yeah, things ever changing at the moment. We don't know what's going to happen. We're waiting to hear more from the league after this meeting tomorrow night. But we've got 2 big games
It's a really
coming up.
interesting meeting, by the way.
Well, I bet it is. I bet there's some like old duffers in that moment.
Can you imagine the representatives from some of these steadfast?
Well, we'll have a debate for an hour first over whether they're drinking Earl Grey or Yorkshire tea
I think Matt Jones is probably one of the most normal ones.
Yeah,
I think we've done well with Matt Jones.
is,
Can you imagine the Cornish one, the one from Cornwall? Imagine the state of that fella.
End of the show.
The Cumbrian one.
Right, stop.
I have stopped.
Right, okay. Anyway, 2 massive games coming up. We, as always, will be back next week.
Unless we have to self-isolate, which is always a possibility in this climate.
Right, okay.
Yes.
We might be back next week.
And we may be in tier 2, which makes it quite hard. We might be sat outside with Curtis on next week.
Right. He's been Jack Salt, and as always,
Hello.
he's been Ash Walker.
Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed it again. Big one next week, episode 10. Should be a good one, so
fingers.
tune in next week and hopefully another 2 wins to talk about for everybody.
Yeah.
Do that.
Thank you very much.